Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Let me move my chair over. Whoa! Let me move my chair over. I'm coming to you live this morning, but if you see me with red eyes, it is because I stayed up way past my bedtime last night. Last night I got a chance to go to Movie on the Rocks for the first time at the Red Rocks Amphitheater here in Denver, Colorado. And I've been there for a hike or two, but never to watch a movie. And it was pretty darn cool. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I saw Big Lebowski. I had to get a last minute date because hubby had to go out of town for work again, so I went solo. So what we're going to do right now, I'm going to share this out while people are joining. Hey Heather, how are you doing this morning? So I might be firing about like 2.5 steps slower because I can see the red in my eyes. I'm learning that as I get older, I can't stay up late because I wake up so early that I was having a hard time. They don't play the movie until like 9. Woo, yeah. So, but I'm actually going back again in a couple of weeks. We're going to go see The Goonies, and I have been semi-threatened because they're going to do Black Panther on the Rocks. So we're going to go back 3 more times this summer, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I've shared out. I'm going to go ahead and start here on Instagram. I hope everyone is doing well today. Yes, and Heather and I, we have a jumpstart session later on today, this morning, and it's going to be so much fun. Heather, I wish I drank coffee, but I just have highly caffeinated tea. So for those of you, hey Beatrice, how are you doing this morning? So for those of you who are tuning in, or if I'm in your feed for the first time, you have no idea who I am Phylecia Jones, budgetologist and solopreneur, money management expert, and you are watching Ask the Budgetologist. I come to you live every morning and answer any questions you have about business, budgeting, and solo entrepreneurship, and I give you tons of unsolicited financial advice. But today, on every Tuesday, I take time to talk about feeding your budget through speaking. Now, we talk about budgeting a lot, talk about money, but there's 2 sides to the budget. There's managing the budget, and there's also feeding the budget. And today we're going to talk about how to feed your budget through speaking, and that's how I've built my business. And I'm going to tell you some things that have worked for me, what hasn't worked. And if you ever watch on the weekends, there's a lot of things that didn't work. So last Saturday, I talked about my epic fail. Yep. So we're not going to talk about that today, but I'm going to talk about, would you sit through your own presentation? Now, I have met tons of speakers. I call them speakerless speakers, speakers who lack speaking gigs. And we're just talking about this month about whether or not your presentation may be slightly boring, and that might be why you're not getting as many bookings as you would like. So the question I have for you today is, would you sit through your own presentation? And like, be honest, like seriously, because there's sometimes I wouldn't even sit through my own presentation. So we're going to talk about that. Also want to let you know that I'm coming here live to you on Facebook.com/Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. Please like my page. But so that you can get all the cool photos and all the things that are going on. And I'm also here live on Instagram over at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. So if you ever want to join any of the parties, and Instagram has more of the behind the scenes and kind of the fun stuff that I do, you can see it here on Facebook as well. So also I want to let you know that if you are a speaker, if you need help, if you need to get more gigs on your calendar, I just want you to reach out. There is a beautiful blue button here over, and I'm typing at the same time, so my eyeballs are moving. There's a beautiful blue button here on Facebook.com/Keep Up with Mrs. Jones, and it's called Book Now. If you ever need me to help you with anything, all you have to do is book. Press that blue button, and you and I can get together and have a one-on-one chat. Same for you over on Instagram. All you have to do is check the link in the bio, or you can go to keepupwithmrsjones.com/jumpstart. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. Oh, I put it in the comments, so if you need to find it for those of you on Facebook. All right, let's talk about whether or not you would sit through your own presentation. Like, just be honest. Let's be honest. How many of you have really paid attention to what you say, how you say it, and how you show up when you talk? Now, this is one of the hardest things that we will always do, and that's the self-evaluation. And I don't mean beating yourself up over, oh, I should have said that, I should have said that, I should have done this. No, I want you to have an honest, evaluation of yourself. And now I know a lot of people, they like to record themselves and watch back. Here's a hint. If that works for you, great. I have never watched myself on camera. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I kind of honestly don't have any idea how I really show up. It seems okay. I've seen bits and pieces, but I can't do it. I can't watch myself. It's just way too weird. So I watch bits and pieces. And what I do is that I get people who I absolutely trust. I don't ask this of anyone, but people I trust to give me feedback, like really hardcore feedback on what I could improve. And I won't say doing wrong, but what I could improve when I'm on stage presenting. So the question I have for you is, would you sit through your own presentation? Now, when it comes to getting gigs, this could be one of the reasons why you are not getting many. Have you ever noticed that there are some speakers, the moment they open up their mouths, everybody wants to book them? Everybody. I'm a speaker coordinator for 2 groups here in Denver, Colorado. And there are some people, the moment that they open their mouths, it's like, yep, I want you to come to my group. I will find you, hunt you down, whatever it takes to get you there. And then there are some speakers, it's just like, what am I having for dinner? Well, I want to make sure that you are not the what am I having for dinner speaker. Yeah. When you see people doing this while you're speaking, that's usually a big old fat red flag that you don't have their attention. Now, you're not supposed to capture the attention of everyone in the room. You at least want to get the first 5 minutes. And after that, you'll have those who will wander off and those who will stick with you. But I want you to really pay attention to whether or not you would sit through your own presentation. And I got this from a friend, Carrie Knutson, and we were just talking. And she's like, there's some people like, I really want to help them. Hey, Elaine does Reiki. Are you still over in London? She's over on Instagram. And hi, Annette. How are you doing this morning? So what we're going to do today, I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to evaluate as a speaker. And I want you to do some self-evaluations. And I'm going to give you some ways that you can get some help with this as well. All right. Now, I know a lot of you, this is what happens a lot. People are like, oh, Phylecia, can you watch my video and give me what you think? Hey, y'all, I'm kind of busy sometimes, so you may not be able to send me your video and watch, because if it's boring in the first 5 minutes, I'm probably not going to watch it. Just saying. So I want you to have a self-evaluation with yourself and get people that actually see you on stage to give you real hardcore feedback. And I'm not talking about hardcore feedback on what you're saying. It doesn't matter what you write down on a sheet of paper. The moment you get on that stage, things change. The moment you get on stage or they give you that microphone, it changes. All right. So here are the 3 things that I want you to do a self-evaluation on when it comes to sitting through your own presentation. So just imagine. So close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But I want you to close your eyes and really put yourself into someone in the audience of your talk. Now, I know this is a lot of visualization, and I just want you to take a few minutes. Hey, Olivia, how you doing? I just want you to take a few minutes, close your eyes, and really pretend that you are someone in the audience. Put yourself in the audience, and you are about to hear yourself speak. And I want you to go through the entire motions. And I'm not saying go and do a watch a video, but I want you to put yourself there and do like heavy visualization technique on this. And I want you to imagine that somebody has just read your intro, your bio, and now you have taken the stage. Now, here's what I want you to do as you're visualizing yourself on stage, you watching. I want you to evaluate your content. Be honest with yourself. Be straight up honest with yourself. I know it is hard, but I want you to be honest with whether your content is good. Now, we're all very emotionally attached to our content. I've always thought my content was great, but then there are times I've looked at like, this kind of sucks. And you know deep down in your core if your stuff sucks. I know. So I want you to really sit there and think and evaluate your content. Are people paying attention? Are people going to sleep? Are people doing other things? Are you one of those that when you speak, there's like side conversations going on in the background? Let's be honest. There's some people, every time they talk, there's a side conversation. And then there's a time when other people talk, absolute silence, and people are shushing others. So I want you to really think about whether or not your content, if people are paying attention to it, if people are taking notes, if they're getting into it, if they're kind of like this, if they're on their phone, really think about it. And what was told to me, for those of you who are using speaking to land more clients, my mentor always told me, if they are not writing, they are not converting. If they are not writing, they are not converting. If you are a motivational speaker, you want something completely different. But I want to talk to my coaches and consultants that use speaking to get clients. If they are not writing, they are not converting into whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So your content needs to move them to do something. And that something is either to call you, work with you, or like follow you around, something. If people are like, oh, that was cute. And I mean, here, take the signs, even after, when people come up to you like, oh, that was a really cute presentation. That was cute. Oh my gosh, you're adorable on stage. And if you weren't trying to go for cute or adorable, those are signs that it's time to work on your content. Okay. Work on your content. I'm going to take a question real quick. Annette is asking, obviously the speaker is the focus on the stage, but to me, sometimes the focus is too much on the speaker, if that makes sense. They talk too much about themselves. Whew. Good observation, Annette. And this is, you can't make it about you. There are a lot of speakers that the first 30 minutes of the talk, I. You know, only certain people can get away with I talks. Richard Branson can get away with I did this because everybody wants to know the story. Oprah Winfrey can get away with I. Me, poor old Phylecia, I can't get away with too many I's because people are like, okay, nobody knows who you are. So you got to come with some impact, okay? Got to come with some impact so that people can be moved to do something. So those are the cues. I want you to evaluate your content. For those of you who are here, for those of you who are live streaming, watching the replay, I want you to, seriously, give me some feedback. Would you ever sit through, have there been times where you wouldn't even sit through your own presentation? And I'm looking at myself on camera. I look so sleepy. Oh my gosh. I apologize. I was up way too late. I went to bed at like 2 a.m. So I'm like firing on nothing right now. But I want you to honestly, answer this question. Would you sit through your own presentation based on your own content? And here are the clues. If people are telling you your talk was cute, oh my gosh, that was adorable. If nobody is signing up for whatever you put down, if they're not getting in your email list, if they don't want to talk to you afterwards, those are usually signs that maybe your content is not, it needs some improvement, okay? Needs some improvement. If people are not paying attention, you got to pay attention to that content. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate your content and also get somebody that you absolutely trust to rate your content. Don't let anybody do this, but get somebody you trust to rate your content for you, okay? You got to get them to rate your content. Now, I will say for this, I got off stage one time and somebody I totally admire, somebody I value their opinion. When I got off stage, they told me presentation was a 10, content was a 4. Ooh, that hurt a little bit. It hurt, but it also was like, all right, I need to do better. And what was happening is that people weren't converting. People loved me. People wanted to hang out with me, but nobody was very interested in what I was selling, what I was doing, or getting them on my email list. So that was the sign for me that I needed to work on my content. And I did a complete overhaul, and it's night and day. And by the way, she loves the banners on the bottom. Yes. And that I am a margarita enthusiast. Last week, I was a happy hour lover. This week, a margarita enthusiast. I don't know what I'll be next week. Annette says, thank you for confirming that. I was thinking that I might be too critical. I have a friend that has a great impactful story, but she talks a lot. She knows this though. Yeah, there's a difference between those who talk a lot and get on stage and those who practice. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Those who talk a lot usually don't practice very much and they talk about themselves a lot. Those who practice, I've noticed that they come with a little bit more impact with what they're saying. That's just my observation. Hopefully I'm not stepping on toes. That's just my observation from watching speakers. Olivia is saying, because I talk about personal branding, I do start my talks with I and share my backstory to give context for the importance of the backstory. Yes, Olivia, there's nothing wrong with talking about, giving the backstory. There's nothing wrong with that. Usually for a good speaker, they take about 5 minutes to give their backstory, to put everything in context. What we're talking about, Olivia, is a little bit different. Those are the speakers, and I'm sure you've seen one where the whole time it's just I. I saw one person, she had 45 minutes. And she just talked about, I grew up here. I did this. I went to college. I was the first this. I was the first one to write here. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It was a cool story. I liked hearing her story, but it wasn't very impactful. And I just walked out of there like, okay, that's like 45 minutes I won't get back. But that's why it's a very big difference between giving your story and then talking about yourself the entire time. Because let's just be honest, sometimes we only get 45 minutes to talk, 30 minutes or 20. And when you take 70% of that to just talk about I, that's when you'll notice that a lot of people won't convert. They won't convert into whatever it is you're doing. So you're doing good, Olivia. Just, 1 hour of Olivia, save that for the wine. You could come over here and tell me 1 hour of you. But for on stage, we need to convert people, all right? So honest evaluation of your content. Number two, while you are sitting there visualizing yourself in the audience, watching you talk, I want you to evaluate your mood when you are on stage. Oh, this is a very interesting one. Because I will say this, if you walk into a speaking gig grumpy, it shows when you're on stage. It really does show. If you walk in overly arrogant, it shows on stage. If you walk in too nervous, it shows on stage. I understand there's some nervousness, but then sometimes you can be so nervous that it is distracting to your talk. And I don't have any Uber techniques right now, but it's just something you're gonna have to work on. If you're so nervous and you got I don't know, it's very distracting to your talk. All right. If you're not prepared before you go on stage, it's distracting to your talk. If your PowerPoints are out of whack, your computer is falling apart, it will show when you're on stage. If you're happy, it'll show. If you're moody, it'll show. If you're pissed off, it'll show. I hate to tell you, you're gonna have to look at your mood before you get the microphone. And you're gonna have to constantly check your mood, because I told you over the weekend that one of my speaking gigs, when I got there were only 4 people in the room, 6, including me and the host. All right. And so you're going to have to check your mood, because it's easy when you are expecting 35 and you walk into a room of 4, your mood can change and you can be like, oh man, this so ain't worth it. You're going to have to check it. And when you have that in your head, it will come across on stage. So I want you to evaluate, go and look at your last few speaking gigs and evaluate your mood. Were you in a good place? Were you flustered? Were you frustrated? And then you're going to have to work on some techniques to kind of calm yourself down an hour before you get the microphone, so that you can create the mood that you want to be in. I try to go into every speaking gig in a positive mood. I listen to only, it's not motivational stuff. It's meditative things. And like positive actions, positive words. I listen to that the entire morning when I'm preparing. I don't watch TV. I don't read anything negative. I try to stay upbeat. I kind of meet people and just try to get excited about being on stage. And I start all of my talks like, I'm so excited to be here. Because if you're not excited to be there, it will show. Hey, Sassy Fit Mom over on Instagram. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing over there? So today we're talking about, would you sit through your own presentation and doing some self-evaluations on whether or not your talk is boring or not. Ooh, I know it hurts. Annette is saying, as far as talking about yourself a lot on stage, she's saying, I think you can be impactful and brief. Yeah, you can. You actually can, Annette. And she's saying, agreed on the mood. I've taken dance class from teachers who bring their bad moods and take it out on the students. Oh my gosh. I remember quite a few baton twirling classes, dance classes, when the instructor had a very bad day. And it shows. So I want you to check your mood when you get on stage. So what I've told you about so far is that I want you to evaluate your content. Give yourself a rating of 1 to 10. Where's your content falling? Where's your content falling? At one time, I was told by somebody I trust that my content was a 4. I think maybe now my content's maybe at a 9. It's probably at an 8 or a 9. It can always be improved. Check your mood. Now, I typically go on stage in a very positive mood. I don't have big struggles with this. I just have to tamp down the nervousness, but I try to calm myself getting on stage. As a speaker coordinator, I've seen other speakers that bring their moods with them, especially say if you had a bad day with a client and you're about to talk, don't do any client stuff before I drop my remote. Don't do any client stuff that'll put you in a mood. I want you to be in the mood to give impact on stage, all right? Now, here's the third thing that I want you to evaluate yourself on. So like I told you, I want you to close your eyes, put yourself in the audience, and you are about to watch yourself present. The third thing that I want you to work on is to evaluate is your delivery. How are you delivering your content? How is your mood coming across to everyone? This is going to be it's going to be a hard one. And for those of you who record yourself, you're going to go, hey, Cassie, how you doing? You want to go and look at how you see yourself on stage. But this is where you're really going to have to get someone that gives you honest feedback on your delivery technique. And when I say delivery, I just want to look at your motions, how you are on stage. How are you delivering? Are you monotonous and you're just reading things as you are going? That's rough. Are you too excited and too animated? I saw a speaker one time. She talked so fast you couldn't even see anything. It's like, I got to get it all in. I only have 45 minutes. Yeah. Check your delivery. Okay. If you are a fast talker, you're going to have to slow it down. I have seen people give 2-hour talks in 15 minutes and they go so fast that you can't even write anything down. And one of the speakers, I met her, she said, well, I did it on purpose because I want to be sure to give you everything. And when you are in that mode, I don't learn anything because all I'm just sitting back is like, wow, I can't even breathe listening to you. If you are slow, now I know a lot of you have taken speaking classes or you've watched way too many YouTubes and you think that you got to put in the dramatic pause. All right, here's the thing. If you're going to use techniques like that, why don't you actually take a class and not do it from somebody giving you a 10-minute session of that on YouTube, because it can be way too much. I've seen people who, when I got to give a story, I want to let you know you have to talk. Yeah. There's dramatic pauses and then there's just, okay, way too freakishly slow. Look at your delivery. If you're pacing back and forth, if you never make eye contact with anybody in the audience, if you don't remember a name, if you don't remember where you are, you gotta pay attention. I know you all are laughing, but I want you to really pay attention to your delivery, how you're working the room. All of this goes to your content. And just to be straight up honest, if your content is freakishly boring, your delivery is going to be boring and your mood is going to be like, ugh. So I want you to really pay attention to this. Get feedback from people you trust, okay? People you trust with how you are showing up on stage. If you are, those people who have PowerPoints and they're doing this the whole time. So I want you to do this. Now, I don't mind you glancing at your PowerPoints to kind of know your cues, but I've seen people who literally turn around and read the PowerPoint the entire time. Woo! Evaluate your delivery, get feedback. If you need to watch a video, and this is why I don't watch myself, because I can be way too critical. And sometimes I may think I'm actually doing something great until somebody's like, no, Now, I don't want you to get feedback from extra critical people. Extra critical people don't know how to give criticism that actually works. They just like, oh, you look fat on stage. Those people, ditch them. That's not who we're talking about, okay? We want to look at the delivery, the straight up delivery. And I want you to evaluate yourself. Just be honest. Just be honest with yourself. Now, I'm serious. For those of you who are watching right now, how many of you can rate yourself with your delivery right now? I know it might be, a lot of people don't want to put themselves out there on delivery, but I want you to rate your delivery. I don't know. If you want to be honest, put it down here. I would say my delivery is about an 8. I can always improve. I can always improve based on what I am doing. All right. My mentor, when I got off stage, she always told me that my delivery was a 10, my content was a 4, and that I needed to kind of work that to bring everything else to above a 7 or 8. Oh, Rebecca is saying her delivery is about a 7 or 8. So Rebecca, what is it that you think you need to improve on when it comes to delivery? So I want you all to, and I'll wait till Rebecca, but really think about and evaluate your delivery. So we talked about 3 things, and I have one bonus one for you, one bonus one. So here are the things when you are evaluating yourself and you're answering the question, would you sit through your own presentation? If you are 5 and below, if you're 5 and below on any of these, please book a session. I want to help you. I seriously do. I want to help you. I'm not typically someone who helps put together. That's not my specialty, but I do know how to put together a talk. If you need help, I am here to help you, or I can find someone that can help you. I can get you through level 1 to level 1.5. If you are there already and you need to go to level 5, I know people that are great. I still work with people that help me with my delivery on stage. Okay. Always be learning. Always be learning. So here are the 3 things we talked about answering your questions, of evaluating yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sleepy. I got 4 hours of sleep. Evaluate your content. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Is your content actually moving people to do something? If it's moving them to go to sleep or walk out the room, yeah, we don't want that. And here's the thing. If people are walking out of the room, especially folks in the front row when you're talking, we got to work on that. Second thing is your mood. I want you to evaluate your mood before you have gone to any of your presentations. If you were in a crappy mood, your kids stressed you out, you're going to have to change that routine on speaking day. And the third, your delivery. Seriously, how is your delivery? And Rebecca is saying she rated herself about a 7 or 8 with delivery. And she's saying that making sure her content flows. That's a very interesting one, because content flow can go with the content, and then how you're delivering can make it seem really out of order. So I know exactly what you're talking about. That's something I did struggle with, Rebecca, in the beginning, and that was content flow. And the one thing I would tell you about content flow is usually when we are kind of feeling jumbled about content, it's because we're trying to do way too much and give way too information. Knock off half of that information. It can still be very impactful, but you don't have to give all of it. And for an example, when the content doesn't flow, we talk about nutrition, then we talk about weight loss, and then we talk about exercise, and then we go into all the itty bitty details around exercise, and people are like, okay, you lost me here. So that's why we can't give too much information. I want you to give it all, but you don't have to give me the technical details of everything that you're doing. So that's where we have to really pay attention to the content flow. And yes, Annette, I did party way too late. I went to a movie last night and got home around 12:30, went to bed at 2. So Rebecca's saying my delivery is good as far as sound, engagement, timing, etc. But yeah, I agree. Trying to whittle down the content to not give it all at once. That's something that Rebecca struggled or has a challenge with. And Rebecca, if you need help with that, just let me know. But seriously, when we have content, when your timing is down, when your engagement is great, but that content flow just seems a little out of whack, usually the first red flag is that you're trying to give way too much and you're trying to get way down into the technical details. And let me know if I'm saying the right thing, because Rebecca owns a spa in El Paso. Is that Texas? Or I don't know where El Paso is. Oh my gosh, I suck. Sorry. But she owns a spa, and I know when you're giving like tutorials or want to help people with facial things, you can get down into, you got to drink water, you got to do this, but you got these little, little things that under the third layer of your skin that does this and this, and it gets like way too technical, and then people are like, okay, so how does that go back to me drinking water? Yeah. Got to pay attention to all of that. Got to pay attention. All right. So, and Annette is saying, Rebecca, she loves what you're saying about content flow. It reminds me of the importance of transitions in dance choreography. Yes. For all of you who are watching, Annette Bone, she's the host of the Dancingpreneur Studio. Make sure I got that right, Annette. So she's a dancer. So I definitely connect. I used to be a dancer way back in the day, and a baton twirler. So, and one of the things that we always had to work on when I put together choreography was that you had to make one thing flow, because I choreograph. And I think most people choreograph in chunks. Like you like a move, you like a move, you like a move, but you got to work on those transitions. And if those transitions, if it's like going from A to Z and you didn't go from A to B to C, it's going to feel really out of whack. Hey, DJ New Era, how you doing? We're talking about speaking and whether or not you would sit through your own presentation. So I hope you're having fun over in Greece. And yes, El Paso is in Texas, y'all. Way too late last night. Ooh, I'm too old to party. All right. So we talked about content, your mood, and your delivery. Your delivery on stage. Those are the three things I want you to evaluate. And the last bonus before I get off, and thank you so very much for being here, is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Okay? Practice will get you a lot further than what you think. There are a lot of people who love to talk. There are a lot of people who like to get on stage. But if you don't practice, it will show. It will show in your content. It'll show in how you deliver. It'll show in your mood. And Annette, this is what I'm saying. The people who love to talk a lot, typically, I have found, don't practice a lot. They just want to talk. And that's why you get the I, 45 minutes of I did this, and like 5 minutes of something that could have been useful if they dug deeper on it. So practice. Practice has never hurt anyone from being better at what they're doing. And that's probably one of the biggest things. Now, I'm not saying practice knowing your words line for line. No, nothing like that. I want you to practice having better content. I want you to practice a better mood on stage. I want you to practice your delivery. And the best way to practice is to book more speaking gigs. Yay! Because if you need help getting speaking gigs, that's what I'm here for. All you got to do is book a session. Book more speaking gigs. Practicing in front of your cat and your dog, that's great. But real live humans, oh my God. Priceless. Okay? Priceless to get in front of real live humans. Book more gigs, practice more, and you will always get better. You'll always be improving. You can't keep improving by buying courses on speaking or by just sending people videos of you by yourself. You got to get on stage, folks. You got to get on stage. All right. Anybody have any questions? I know I was supposed to ask if you had any questions like in the middle, but I'm like, I need to go drink some tea because I got to go downtown today and I'm working with an agent today. Woo, getting some insider scoop stuff. So, hey, Taloria, how you doing over on the IG? So, Taloria, if you want, go and do a replay over here on Facebook or in IG. We talked about would you listen to your own presentation? And there are a couple of things that I wanted people to evaluate themselves on. That's content, mood, and delivery. And then finally, go and practice. I want you to do some self-evaluations, and it never hurts to get someone you trust. Only get people you trust to give you real feedback on how you're doing on stage. So if you have any questions, pop them in before. I know I'm probably a little bit over time, but I want to make sure I answer any questions that you have. If you need me, seriously, if you need me and it's time to get more gigs, if it's time to really kind of break down your talk, all you got to do is book a one-on-one session with me. Go to keepupwithmrsjones.com/jumpstart. For those of you on IG, go and check the bio. For those of you on Instagram, there's the beautiful like blue button that says book now. I think it's over there. Am I wrong? Am I pointing to it? So I think it's over there. Hey, Angela, how you doing this morning? We missed you, Angela. We talked about, would you listen to your own presentation? About to sign off now. So Annette is saying it's very draining being around speakers and people that talk like it's going out of style. Yes, Annette. Yes. You'd be surprised. There are a lot of speakers when they come off stage, they kind of mellow out. There's something like, ooh, bring that down like 3 notches, please. Olivia saying, thanks for all the tips, and I have a speaking opportunity for you. I'll inbox you. Ooh, thank you. And I know you messaged me about something else, Olivia. We'll talk. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Just for you, if you're out there in the world, I'm actually going to be moderating a panel next week for eWomen Network. So if you want to come hang out with me in Denver, I'll buy you a glass of Prosecco. So eWomen Network, we can hang out. My next speaking gig is at WordCamp Denver. Yay, $20, and they give you margaritas. Oh, and some content, some business content too. So I've also been asked to speak for Success Incubator. That's a pre-conference before FinCon, and I will be speaking and paneling at FinCon. So got a few things coming up, and I have the South Metro Denver Women in Business. I will be emceeing that one. That's going to be fun because I've never emceed before. So I'm looking forward to that one. You can't even practice when you got to be like in the flow the whole time. So I'm excited about that. So any other questions? Angela says, I have 4 children I had to feed this morning. Ooh, bless you, Angela. I haven't even fed myself, and there are no children in this house. So you're doing great things. I love all of you with all the kids, especially my moms who are mompreneurs. I love that you're saying like there's no excuse not to get crap done. I was in, I'm squirreling, so if you got to go, I totally agree with it. But I was at a session one time, and all of the women around the table were all moms, and they were moms of like between 5 to 8 kids. And they were just like hardcore, like, nope, running like $500,000 businesses. I mean, it's just like, okay. I mean, and one girl, she had just had a baby. So, I mean, she had a babe on the boob, and she was like, no, we're doing things right here, right now. She had the other kid waiting outside when the other one needed to go get changed. I love it. Absolutely love it. And so for people like me who don't have kids, I was like, okay, she has a kid hanging on the teat. She got 7 more at home. I have no excuse not to get off my butt and make things happen. And these women were running $500,000 businesses. And that is the conference that I'm going to be speaking at in September. So it's going to be so much fun. Oh, Angela's saying she has 8 children in homeschool. Girl, Angela has 8 kids, homeschool. She actually feeds all the kids, and she runs a business. Yeah, none of us have an excuse, do we? Yeah. Thank you for shaming us all this morning, Angela. All right. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? All right, folks, I'm going to sign off here on Instagram first. So DJ New Era, my cousin over in Greece, Taloria, Rebecca, who else is over here? Elaine, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Happy budgeting. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about tomorrow is what are your business finances telling you? Ooh, time to talk about money. And your money is telling you something. We're going to figure out what it's telling you. So take care. See you bright and early tomorrow morning. For those of you who are still here on Facebook, you know I appreciate every last one of you. Angela with her 8 babies and running a business and just shamed every last one of us. So actually go out and do some income producing activities today. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about what your numbers are telling you. If you need me for anything, if you need more help booking more speaking gigs. And Angela, there's actually a lot of conferences. I don't know if you speak, but there are actually a lot of conferences for women who homeschool, the mompreneur conferences. You might be perfect for some of those. And even like with Podcast Movement, they even have childcare available at the conference. Yeah, so you can bring the babies with you. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going to take off. We're going to talk about your numbers tomorrow. If you need me, you know, and Annette says I only have one. I so respect moms with multiples. I respect all of y'all who gave birth, because I saw a video. No. All right. You all have fun today. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye.